If this were a dictatorship, it'd be a heck of a lot easier. Just so long as I'm the dictator.
I've got a pen and I've got a phone. And I can use that pen to sign executive orders.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
And when they say, I want my lawyer, you tell them, shut up.
My change in party will enable me to be re-elected.
I actually did vote for the $87 billion before I voted against it. Mr. Reagan will raise taxes, and so will I.
It is the constitutional position. It is the advice of the founders to follow a non-interventionist foreign policy. Stay out of entangling alliances.
This is a dangerous man, citizen. Avert your eyes. Don't you dare listen to this man. Avert your eyes, citizen. He's extreme. He's dangerous. He's crazy. He's not respectable.
Welcome to Liberty or Death Radio, Episode 3, sounding the alarm of freedom to an awakening citizenry and setting brush fires in the minds of men. On tonight's episode, we'll be discussing the minimum wage and how it affects our lives, how it is in the news, and the possible ramifications of that, as well as discussing some man-on-the-street interviews that we had recently with citizens of the Lehigh Valley area. You can find us on Twitter at LibertyOrDeathR, at Liberty or Death R, on Facebook at facebook.com/Liberty or Death Radio, on Spreaker.com, that's Spreaker, Spreaker.com/Liberty or Death Radio. Also, you can find us at libertyordeathradio.wordpress.com. Discussing the minimum wage, you want to notice that the Congress first set the minimum wage at 25 cents per hour as part of the Fair Labor Standards Act in 1938. It's fluctuated over the years, but it's averaged $6.60 per hour in purchasing power, adjusted by inflation over the years since then. There are some states within the United States that actually do not have a minimum wage. Those would be mostly in the southeast region of the country, including South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Some states actually have a minimum wage lower than the federal minimum wage, and some actually have those higher, of course, as well. We noticed that the Harkin-Miller bill, also known as the Fair Minimum Wage Act, would have raised the federal minimum wage from $7.25 as it is currently to $10.10 per hour, but this recently failed. It was sponsored by Tom Harkin of Iowa and George Miller of California in the House. And so it would have raised the minimum wage in 3 steps of 95 cents each, taking place over 10 years to $10.10 per hour, but this did fail. We actually noticed that the state of Michigan recently passed a minimum wage increase there over a period of time to $9.25 per hour by the year 2018. The state of Connecticut also recently passed a bill which will raise the state minimum wage there to $10.10 an hour over a period of a few years also. It's going to raise it to $9.15 in 2015, $9.60 in 2016, and $10.10 in 2017. So states around the country are getting the move on with getting those minimum wages raised. We know San Francisco recently raised their minimum wage, I think above what was the standard in the state of California. But we also see that Seattle is perhaps going to be raising their minimum wage to $15 per hour. I suppose everybody will be moving to Seattle for that great of a wage, even at McDonald's. Slate proposes that maybe it's a little bit risky to raise it quite that much. We should just do it incrementally, smaller steps as we go along. But anyway, it looks like Seattle's mayor is looking to perhaps even raise it to $15 an hour. Liberty or Death Radio was recently out on the streets of the Lehigh Valley area interviewing citizens about what their opinion was on raising the minimum wage, as well as would they support giving to people free food, a free car, basically the necessities of life. You'll hear some of those in just a moment.
Age, please.
My age is 30.
Okay, 30. And would you give me your average yearly income? Be under 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40?
Under 15.
Under 15. Wow. Okay. And would you favor raising the minimum wage above $7.25 an hour?
No.
Okay. And would you favor guaranteeing to every American the right to a free car, free meals, that sort of thing?
Every American?
Yes, every American.
A free car.
Yeah, the necessity of living.
There's a lot of free things in this world.
Okay, but would you favor guaranteeing to every American those things?
Guaranteeing them? No.
Okay. Anything else you like that?
I would like to say that, like if it's coming down to like sports and publishing and weather and things like that, if you're like a newscaster, then yeah, I would favor a minimum wage up, because that's like a very exhausting job and it's very long hours and you have to kind of like be able to get up there in the air. But minimum wage at $7.25, people have to learn to work for their dollars and cents after a while, because some things that are free in this life, they get to take advantage of.
The first interviewee suggested that TV anchors should be paid well, commensurate with their exhausting job, suggesting that pay should be equal to value produced. This is the argument of a free market economist. Let's see what some others had to say in our interviews.
First of all, can you give me your age, please?
18. Well, 19 now. 19.
19. Okay. And what is your average yearly income? Under 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40?
Under 20.
Okay, under $20,000 per year. And would you favor raising the minimum wage above $7.25 an hour where it is currently?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to raise it to?
About $10.
$10 an hour? Okay. Now, would you favor guaranteeing to every American the right to a free car, free meals, necessities of living?
No. I think everybody should work for what they need.
Okay. All right, very good. Anything else you like that?
Nope.
All right, man. Thanks for your help. Your age, please.
43.
All right. And can you give me approximately your annual income? Would it be under 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40?
20. Under 20.
Okay, under $20,000 per year. And would you favor raising the minimum wage above $7.25 an hour, as it is now?
Say that again. I'll repeat that again. I'm sorry.
The minimum wage is $7.25 an hour now.
Yes.
Would you like to raise it above that?
Yes. Who wouldn't?
And what would you like to raise it to?
At least 8.
$8 per hour. Would you favor guaranteeing to every American the right to a free car, free meals, the necessities of life?
Sure.
Okay. And anything else you like that?
No, but I am a waitress, and I think they should also raise the minimum for that too, because I get paid $2.83 an hour, and people don't realize that we truly live off of our tips, and I sometimes think they should raise that a little bit higher also.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks a lot.
This waitress wanted to raise the minimum wage for non-tip workers. She seemed to have a nonchalant attitude about this, not connecting this mandated raise with the potential for higher consumer prices, less benefits for employees, etc. Mother Jones reports that only 7 states require employees to pay tip workers the same minimum wage as non-tip workers. The federal minimum wage for the latter is $7.25, but the federal minimum wage for tip workers has remained at $2.13 since 1991, with no adjustment for inflation. Employers are supposed to make up the difference if tip workers aren't earning the regular minimum wage through their tips, but it doesn't always happen. In actuality, waitstaff have a vested self-interest in providing the very best service to their customers. Realizing that your life depends upon excellent service makes you go above and beyond to find a restaurant where you won't be competing for diners with your fellow employees, giving your customers the best service while they are under your care, and also giving them good reason to return again. It must be remembered that restaurants employ other people who are not waitstaff, and these must be paid the regular minimum wage, thus costing more. The self-interest policy of serving your customers to the best of your ability will go a longer way towards making a better wage for waitstaff than any mandated minimum wage. I've experienced this personally, giving above the normal tips to waitstaff who do excellent service and actually make me want to return back and visit them again. Now back to the interviews.
First of all, can you give me your age, please?
I am 18.
Excellent. And what would you say you make yearly? Under 20,000, 20 to 30?
I am currently unemployed. I'm still a high school student.
Okay, excellent. And would you be in favor of raising the minimum wage above $7.25 per hour?
I would not, based on class discussions and the perks and benefits that we've discussed. Seems that raising the minimum wage would raise costs for companies and everything, and costs for everything would just increase at this point. So.
Okay, excellent. One final question. Would be in favor of guaranteeing to every American free meals, free car, basically the needs of life?
Some of those things, I feel free meals should definitely be a thing. I don't know if transportation, there's a lot of public transportation that's been provided, so I believe that should be sufficient at this point.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
Can you please start with your age?
50.
Okay, and what is your average yearly income? Under 20,000, 20 to 30, 30 to 40?
Between 25 and 30.
Okay, and would you be in favor of raising the minimum wage from $7.25 up?
Yes.
And to what level?
At least 9.
At least $9 an hour. Okay, and finally, would you be in favor of guaranteeing to every American a free car, free meals, basically what they need to live?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, all right, and anything you want to add to that?
No.
Give me your age.
I am 17.
Okay, you're 17. And what's your average yearly income? Would it be under 20,000, 20 to 30?
Maybe like 2,000.
Okay, so under 20 by far. Yeah, and so would you be in favor of raising the minimum wage above $7.25 where it is now?
Yes.
Okay, and what would you want to raise that rate to?
I believe the number that they were thinking about was 15, right?
Mr. Obama talked about 1010, so I think that's a bill in Congress right now.
All right.
Okay, so you're cool.
I think it's more than 725, pretty much.
Anything more than $7.25. All right, and finally, would you be in favor of guaranteeing to every American free car, free meals, basically what they need to live?
Yeah, I think people should be guaranteed like any necessities of life.
Okay, necessity of life. Okay, and anything you want to add to that?
No, not really.
Okay, thanks.
Murray Rothbard says, quote, "In truth, there is only one way to regard a minimum wage law. It is compulsory unemployment, period. The law says it is illegal and therefore criminal for anyone to hire anyone else below the level of X dollars an hour. This means plainly and simply that a large number of free and voluntary wage contracts are now outlawed, and hence that there will be a large amount of unemployment. Remember that the minimum wage law provides no jobs, it only outlaws them, and outlawed jobs are the inevitable result." He goes on to say, "Why are you helping the working poor by such piddling amounts such as a 10 cent, 15 cent, 25 cent, 50 cent, even a few dollars of a wage raise? Why should you stop at this? Why not $10 an hour?" And this was several years ago. He says, "Why not $100 an hour? What about $1,000 an hour?" He goes on to say, quote, "It is obvious that the minimum wage advocates do not pursue their own logic, because if you push it to such heights, virtually the entire labor force will be disemployed. In short, you can have as much unemployment as you want simply by pushing the legal minimum wage high enough," unquote. And now we move on back to some more man-on-the-street interviews.
Give me your age, please.
I'm 18 years old.
Okay, excellent. And what is your average yearly income? Under 20,000, 20 to 30? I know you're a student.
Well, I'm unemployed at the moment.
Sure. Okay, all right, that's fine. So probably under 20,000 then.
Yes.
Okay. And would you favor raising the minimum wage above $7.25 where it is now?
Yes.
Okay, and what would you want to raise that to?
$10.
10 per hour. Okay. And finally, would you favor guaranteeing to every American the right to a free car, free meals, basically the necessities of life?
Plus a raised minimum wage?
Well, I mean, it's just separate. It's just an abstract from that. Would you favor that?
No.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
I'm from Connecticut, and we already raised our minimum wage, and I think it's awesome.
Okay, excellent. Great. Okay, get your age, please.
I'm 24.
Excellent. Okay, and what is your average yearly income? Under 20,000, 20 to 30, 30 to 40?
30 to 40.
Okay, excellent. And would you favor raising the minimum wage above $7.25 where it is now?
Yes, I would.
And what do you want to raise that to?
I think at least $8.25.
$8.25 an hour. Okay. And finally, would you be in favor of guaranteeing to every American the right to a free car, free meals, basically just the needs for daily life?
Yes, I would.
Okay, excellent. Anything you want to add to that?
Not really.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Liberty or Death Radio, Episode 3, covering the minimum wage with man-on-the-street interviews. In response to these different interviewees, we have to wonder, why doesn't Congress or the state legislatures just mandate that businesses create jobs, and thus eliminating unemployment instead of mandating a minimum wage for a limited number of people? Shouldn't lawmakers be interested in improving the plight of the greatest amount of people? Isn't insisting on a minimum wage a diversion from the real need? Or is it possible that lawmakers would prefer that people remain on welfare rather than working? Mises.org tells us we are told repeatedly that minimum wage is not a living wage. So why are not more minimum wage earners simply starving to death? In reality, workers earn two wages, one from their employer and one from the state. For example, someone making the current full-time minimum wage earns $15,000 per year, but they are also eligible for additional government benefits that bring their total remuneration to approximately $35,000 per year if they are